What I'm going to be showing you here today is how to tie a nice small little loop knot on the end of your small little paddle tail swim baits. This one here is our 2-inch slim shad minnow. This also works great on our even smaller 1.5-inch rip shad. So the idea here is we don't want to tie, a loop knot that is huge like that. I see a lot of guys tie them, so they end up with this big giant loop knot that's almost as big as their bait. It's really hard to tie a loop knot with some of the other knot styles out there that's small enough to kind of disappear onto the front of your jig head. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our line here, and we're just going to throw a little overhand knot into the line, just like that. We're going to pull that overhand knot there, so it's down to about the size of a BB or so. And we're just going to take our jig here, thread the line through the eye. All we're going to do now is just go back through that overhand knot. Now at this point we need to make some adjustments. So if you pull on the tag end, you're basically going to be able to slide that overhand knot all the way down to the eye of the jig. And then pull it back up here. I can do that. And if you take the standing line and pull on the standing line, you'll make the overhand knot smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to balance this where that overhand knot is just small enough where we're able to easily fit the tag end back through there when we need to. And then I'm going to take the tag end and slide that overhand knot so that it is just in front of the eye of the jig. I'm just going to let it sit there. You don't want to pull it tight. We're just going to let it sit there. Then we're going to take our tag end and we're just going to wrap around the standing line once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That's all it needs. We're going to take that tag end and we're just going to basically go back through. I can do this while watching what I'm doing on camera. I'm just going to go back through that overhand knot. Just like so. We're going to pull down on the tag end a little bit just to cinch it down and kind of seat it. Then we're going to wet that knot. And all you're going to do is just take the standing line, pull tight to seat it. It takes a little bit of practice. After you tie a couple of them, you'll kind of get the hang of it. It's actually a really easy knot to tie. The trick is just getting it small. Then what you end up with is this perfect little loop knot. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on it here. There we go. Little tiny loop knot right there on the end of my jig. And really allows that paddle tail to give it most amount of action, let it swim, and get a free range of movement. So that's how you tie a little tiny micro loop for our little tiny swim baits.